Internet, hello and welcome to this week's Coy Cubed. We had to go live a little earlier today because I'm actually going to my first ever Major League Baseball game. I have never been to an MLB game, and we are going to be doing that today. I'm very excited. I'm bringing the great Jenny Newman of Comic Books and Craft Beers. You guys know Jenny. She is fantastic. I'm going to be joining her for an MLB game. There's this company I worked for during the pandemic. We did a trivia game for them, and they're like, hey, we got these MLB tickets, so I'm going to be doing that. Yes, my shirt is wet, but I've got to let it dry so I can wear it because I had to rock my Red Sox pride, and I leaned against my sink, and here we are with the wet shirt. So I'm calling it out myself. Either way, we're doing an early Coy Cube today so I can get to my first ever Dodgers game over at Dodger Stadium. Very excited about it. Today we're going to be talking about Batgirl casting rumors. We're going to be talking about the Suicide Squad getting some first reactions. I haven't seen it yet, so you have no concerns for spoilers. I am, however, seeing Jungle Cruise on Thursday, so I will let you guys know what I thought of Jungle Cruise. We're also going to be talking about lots of other sequels, Aquaman 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, all sorts of stuff. But the big reason I wanted to make sure a Coy Cubed happened today was last week on Coycast, I mentioned I broke a tooth, and it sucks quite a bit to break a tooth, and it really sucks to break a tooth in America because the only thing more painful than a broken tooth, broken right down to the nerve, I broke it to the nerve, I might tweet out the image because it's really fucked up, is the bill. It is the tooth behind my canine, so it's a very visible tooth, and I could not afford to lose the tooth, and the way it was broken, I needed a specialist and a crown. I'm only halfway through the root canal. The root canal they thought would take about an hour. It took about 2.5, and they're not quite finished yet, and then the crown, and then the permanent crown. So it's quite the procedure. Long story long, it ended up being about $3,500, and I mentioned that on Coycast, which is my podcast, and I mentioned that on Coy Cubed. And $3,500 when you haven't worked in studio or for any studios, red carpet, live, etc. in a year and a half because of the pandemic is quite a bit of money. And you guys collectively sent me almost $1,000. So I really want to thank Echo in the Mirror, who rallied up his Patreon from 25 to 525. Dude, thank you. 1/7 of my procedure, Echo in the Mirror helped cover, so thank you very much. Darth Vadad upped his patronage by quite a bit as well. Darth Vadad, thank you very much. And then Robin West Parker sent me Venmo and said, hey, don't send this back. Don't you do it. I want to help. And then a number of you sent $5, $10, $20, and all of that added up to almost $1,000. Overwhelmed with appreciation. $2,500 is manageable adjacent. It is a more manageable sum. $1,000 off of that just about is incredible. Thank you. I really hated being in that position, and $3,500 I just don't have because I haven't worked in quite a long time in the capacity I used to. Collider fell apart in January. Then I was doing cons in February, and then the world fell apart in March, and the world's only just coming back. Most things are still remote. So thank you. That's mainly the point. Thank you so fucking much to all of you who helped, and specifically Echo in the Mirror, Darth Vadad, and Robin West Parker. Thank you so fucking much. Yeah, even with insurance, dental is a bitch, and I haven't had insurance since 2009, so it's been quite the thing. Let's talk about the news, because you guys aren't here to talk about my mouth. You guys are here to hear some news, and I'm going to read the chat after, and anyone watching this later that is only a casual Coy Ponder, I apologize for spending quite so much time on it, but I really appreciate it. Jason Ritchie, Scott Welsh, a bunch of people that just contributed and helped out, and everyone that's a patron at all times. This month's Patreon is going to help support the tooth money. So right now it's just sit on a credit card. I'm going to pay it off as I can. Again, thank you. The news! Batgirl is getting made. Batgirl is going to be one of the first major theatrical releases that isn't a theatrical release. It is going to be released on HBO Max, which is a fascinating decision. It is a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him. So HBO Max is making a full-on Batgirl movie that's going to be on HBO Max, and it is going to be really intriguing to see how that does with money, because I think it's going to do okay, but is there any amount of money that can balance out that cost, because at minimum we're talking $150 million. I'd say another $100 million in marketing. We just saw what happened with Black Widow. It did really well its first weekend, and then it just dive bombed. Unfortunately, because Black Widow is quite the film, and it did not deserve that treatment. It did not deserve an 80% drop off, because once you release it online, you can have 30 people watch it for $30, and that's $1 instead of 10. You can have bootlegs happen a lot easier. You can have all these things all, you know, really just tank the situation. So it's a real mess that I don't know if streaming is quite built for yet. Even if they charge, you know, the minimum $20, $30 for a family, you're still not able to really bolster the things going on. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes in general. I'm fascinated by the Batgirl project. I don't think it was Jason Ritchie, you angel. I'm going to talk to you in just a moment. It's going to be really interesting to see how any of this works in a sustainable way, because we're already seeing, we're talking about later, AMC buying up certain movie theaters. We're already seeing the tectonic plates of the theatrical window shifting, and you know, A Quiet Place had a 45-day window, and that 45-day window really changes how many people are going to see A Quiet Place if they can wait a couple more weeks and see it at home in the comfort of their home. I am a theatrical junkie. I think movies are meant to see big, loud, and with a crowd. I want the theatrical window extended, not shortened. But that's not here nor there. Right now we're talking about Batgirl. It is going to be an interesting experiment from DC and HBO. I am hearing they've got 4 names. So they've narrowed it down to theoretically 4 names. Those 4 names are Isabella Merced, who was in Dora the Explorer, the live action, Transformers last night, like lots of great stuff. I think she's fantastic. She's a powerhouse little actress. I think she'd be a great Batgirl. We have Zoe Deutsch, who I am a huge fan of. Separate of any comic book stuff, I'm a big fan of her. She's so good in Everybody Wants Some. She's in lots of stuff. You'd recognize her. I think one of the movies is called Cherry. She's in a bunch of really, really good stuff. And I'm always impressed with her work. She's so charismatic, so interesting, such a force. She is the great, I forget her name, and I'm a monster, Back to the Future, her daughter, and she's just such a talented actress, and so good to see her and stuff. Then we've got Leslie Grace, who I just saw for the first time in The Heights. She was so good in The Heights. Sound like a broken record because I'm a fan of all 4 of these women, but have very limited exposure to them, except for Zoe. Zoe, I've seen her in a lot more work, but just having seen Leslie Grace and In the Heights, I was really impressed with her stage presence, her gravitas, her ability to navigate really difficult, you know, song and dance and speaking. Like, there's a lot of theatrics and superhero stuff, the green screen, all those things. You need that. Plus, she's in a Warner Brothers film right now in theaters. That's going to help her out. And then finally, Haley Lou Richardson is the final name, but I've heard some, she might have already turned it down kind of conversation about that. So I'm curious with all 4 of these names. I'm really fascinated by a Batgirl film. I'm very hopeful that they change their mind, it goes theatrical. Maybe some of these movies like The Suicide Squad will change directions, but I am a big fan of movies in theaters, and I hope the budget can support the Batgirl movie we need and deserve. The movie we need and deserve right now. Let me check in on the chat and check in on the great Jason Ritchie. Jason, as someone who has had a bunch of bad teeth due to a genetic disease, I definitely understand the pain. Here's a little something more for the Tooth Fund. Jason, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm using like a prescription fluoride toothpaste. I'm trying to do all the things proactively so it doesn't happen again. So thank you very much. I'm not being lazy. This wasn't ignorance. This wasn't laziness. Much like your situation, shit happened at me. And unfortunately, it's very expensive. So thank you, Jason Ritchie, so fucking much. I appreciate the hell out of that, dude. Hashtag Tooth Talk. And then we've got Michael McCarsell, you 3 are the absolute best. I totally agree. Like, Jesus. The pain is not gone, but it is much better. I'm dealing with it. Once they put a crown on, it's that color forever. So I'm making sure my teeth are like really white. So I'm using those Crest white strips. Because that's the color it's going to be. And to be honest, the soreness from the white strips and the tooth pain, quite extraordinary, but I'm dealing with it as we go along. Iceman, it does feel nice to curse unapologetically. That is the power of me on my own YouTube channel. I can say fuck, shit, ass, piss, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and everything else I want. Everything else I want. It's a Blink-182 song, by the way. I did not invent that string of swears, nor will I take credit for it. And all the people saying hello to my mom, y'all angels. My mom is the best, and so is Jason Ritchie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, next bit of news we got. Suicide Squad is getting very, very strong reactions, very positive reactions. The Suicide Squad has screened for one audience that I know of, and I think a second one today. I have not been in attendance of either of these screenings, but I'm bummed, and I would have liked to have been, but so you can know that none of this is out of context, and none of this is with any of my flavor on it. These are just reviewers and people I know that saw it down the street. Got to see James Gunn's Suicide Squad tonight. A hilarious, violent, heartfelt story that's surprising in all the right ways. Enjoyable for everyone. This is the reason I pulled this one specifically. Enjoyable for everyone, DC veterans and newbies alike. So that is very interesting with how this ties into the rest of the things. That was Vanessa Armstrong. The Suicide Squad is an epic, all-out war movie that demands to be seen on the big screen. Yes, not on HBO Max. Gunn does it again with hilarious cast of oddballs and underused comic characters. Big laughs, bigger action. DC has another winner on its hands. Hell yeah. Jimmy to the O just checked out Suicide Squad UK, calls it weird and wonderful. There are laughs of plenty and some of the most outrageous and original visuals you're likely to see in cinemas this year. This is the Suicide Squad we've been waiting for. Frosty over at Collider really loved it. Christopher Gates said it's complete mayhem, similar themes to The Heart of Guardians, but tonally much more similar to Gunn's pre-Marvel work. Very bloody and hilarious, but be warned, the emotional stakes are real and not the carefree romp the trailers promise. So those are some of the select reviews that I was like, oh, I'm very intrigued by this film. Now I'm even more intrigued. In the words of Candy, Leonardo DiCaprio, it had my attention. No, it had my interest, but now it has my attention. This has been one of my most anticipated comic book films, hard stop, and it is now mere weeks away. We've got about 2 weeks until we can all see, a little over 2 weeks, The Suicide Squad, and all the reviews are very, very, very good. Cannot wait, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it in theaters, not in HBO Max. If it's safe where you live, especially if vaccination numbers are good, do check it out in theaters if you can. I really think we need to send a message to studios and exhibition staff to show that we still want movies in theaters, and I think The Suicide Squad is one of those that we definitely need to keep going there. We also got the Jackass trailer today. Speaking of movies I'm very excited to see in theaters this October, Jackass 4. Jackass 4 is available. I own Jackass 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3D, and I'm very excited to own Jackass 4, actually have the entire series on DVD. I am a huge fan of Jackass. I think they are fascinating films. I think it is insane what the culture became. It changed television. I think arguably this COVID version of Jackass is going to be great for a lot of people that might not have been as invested because they couldn't fuck with other people. They had to just fuck with each other. So it's going to be a lot more contained jackassery. Hearing Johnny Knoxville say, "Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville and welcome to Jackass," is my heart. Very excited for this. The trailer is everything we know from these gents. They are now, late 40s, 50s. They are definitely on the other side of, oh my God, they shouldn't be doing that stunt. They shouldn't have been doing it in their 20s and 30s. So I'm so excited for this film and whatever insanity it entails. We'll see what people on the other side of 40 do for surviving stunts. I'm so in. Check out the trailer. It's hard to give anything away, but you can't describe these things. You got to be a Jackass fan. You got to feel it in your heart. And if it's either going to work for you or it isn't. This movie's not for everybody, but it's certainly for me. I'm very excited for it. Winston Duke is officially set to return for Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever is the forthcoming sequel to Black Panther, and I'm very excited for it to be official, and I'm very excited for Winston Duke to be coming back. Big fan of that dude. Big fan of M'Baku. Not big news, but just the confirmation filled my heart with joy. I want to share it with you guys. In the MCU as well, Guardians 3, James Gunn had this to say. For Guardians 3, the script has basically been written for a long time. I've been playing with it in little ways over the years, but it's basically stayed in the same place since 3 years ago. It's pretty heavy, actually. It's a heavier story, so it's emotionally a process to go through. I think this movie is going to break us. I think this movie is going to be really, really, really hard. James Gunn is good at making even the most lighthearted movies rough, and I think that this is going to be a really different situation. I think it's going to break a lot of people. I think we're going to have death. I think we're going to have, we dealt with, father issues in the second one. I think this third one's going to emotionally pull at a lot of heartstrings. And this is James Gunn's last bit of work, probably, for Marvel. So it's going to be interesting. He's lived with these characters for almost a decade, and now, having written it obviously before the movie came out. That's how it works. But then having the script done for so long, living in that space is going to be really different. So having this knowledge that it's that heavy, and knowing James Gunn's work, I'm very intrigued by Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming at us in 2022, I believe. I think it is late 2022, and there's a Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, which we are getting as well. It might be summer 2023. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but we've got a little bit of time, and there's a Christmas special coming. So technically we get 2 more Guardians movies. Very excited about both of those. We also got a director for Blade this week in Bassam Tariq. Bassam Tariq is not a director I'm familiar with. I'm not going to pretend to be. Did not recognize any of their work online, but I really like this because I want the Blade film to feel unique to the Wesley Snipes films. I want it to feel unique to the rest of the Marvel Universe. I want it to be its own thing, so having a director that I don't know actually excites me more, so I'm very in for this, whatever that may be. I'm going to check in the checks. It's moving and grooving before I get on to some Victoria Alonso quotes. Let's see. Yes, Michael McCarcel, those 5 people, those 3 to 5 people are incredible. Honestly, if they're going to HBO Max, I wish they'd just make it a series. I would love that. I think it'd be better suited for a big screen movie than a 2-hour show movie. But I think they're worried about budget stuff. Like, I don't know what they're going to be doing for, like Batman's expensive. Batgirl should also be expensive. If they can budget it out for 6 hours, like like Marvel's been doing, I would love that. I just don't know if they see that as a viable option, but I would love that as well. Michael McCarcel. Let's see here. Jesse Swift, what up, Quirky Merc? Jesse has a match coming up. Jesse versus Whitneyben is dropping on Friday, and I'm very excited for you all to see that madness. Jesse Swift, you're going to crush it, dude. I'm excited to be in there with you. Jesse's saying hi to my mom. Hey, Coy, the Suicide Squad looks colorful as heck. I leapt out of my seat when I first saw Starro. Dude, me too. Jesse also says, give me Dune or give me death. Q-Ton Nicholson, Coy, I forgot to ask you, do you want to see Tobey and Spider-Man Far From Home? What do you think? I'm not big on... I'm worried that if the Spider-Man movie gets too big, we'll lose Spider-Man, but I think that's inevitable. I think that's the only way it can go, is bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think the only way it can go is Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I love those movies for the nostalgia, but I never thought Tobey was that good of a Spider-Man personally. He wasn't my Spider-Man. I actually thought Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man. So I'm excited for the moment, for the nostalgia, because those films have a special place in my heart. But I would rather have a friendly neighborhood, smaller Spider-Man than this interdimensional Sinister Six thing that I think we're getting. The Ryan Cross Project, good to see you as well, in all caps, good sir. The Suicide Squad is only days away from coming to cinemas in the UK. Lewis Cox, I am very, very jealous. Joel Ralston, Jackass the Geriatrics, bring it on. I'm ready for that film very, very much. Winston Duke is freaking incredible. I hope they give him an even bigger role this time around. I think they will. I think he might even be considered for the mantle of Black Panther. I think there's going to be a conversation about who wields it. I think it will end up going to Shuri, but I think there'll probably be something involving other tribes talking about who's going to lead, and I think M'Baku is going to be part of that conversation, personally. Ryan, let's push Johnny Ton and Steve Hill into a stack of chairs. Why? Wicked Dangerous, we're going to laugh when he gets hurt. But why, though? Because Jackass. I completely forgot that the Guardians X-Men special was a thing. Oh, it's right here. It stays right here. And Lily Morton, welcome to one of these live. Good to have you in the chat. Good to have you here. So we are going to go over to the world of Victoria Alonso. Victoria Alonso is one of the major producers over in the MCU, and Victoria Alonso went and spoke with Variety. I recommend you all check out the entire Variety article where she talks about representation, where she talks about the evolution, where some of these pull quotes are just to be hype, hype, hype. So I'm going to say, she said, quote, "We have so much coming your way that you might tell us, okay, take a break." She's the VP of film production over at Marvel, so she would know. Absolutely. Balance is the key to how we can be better storytellers, more efficient filmmakers, better executives, better people, which is why they're trying to really bolster representation and making sure people get seen on camera, making sure people do feel like their hero represents them, where they feel like they're on screen. I think it's important to consistently listen to what fans are saying. If there's a vast majority that feels that something is not hitting home, we need to look at that. But then there's times where we say, you know what, this is a story we're going to tell. So I like that they're listening to fans, but they're also making sure they're pushing the narrative that the MCU believes in. Sometimes people don't know what they want. They need to be shown what they want. And I'm glad they're not just listening to fans, but I'm glad they're not ignoring fans. A lot of great quotes in here. And then the big takeaway, again, check out this article, that I got out of this is they're building an entire studio around animation. There's going to be a separate animation studio after the success of the what if hype. Like the what if hype is so high, they're actually starting an entire separate studio. So historically, DC has crushed Marvel with the quality and quantity of their animated output. It looks like they're going to be doing an entire animated series of film, TV, everything from Marvel, saying, quote, we're going to have our animation branch and mini studio, and there'll be more to come from that as well. We're super excited about animation, which is my first love. Again, a lot of revealing stuff in this interview. I'm very excited about it. Also, Kevin Feige's been going around and saying stuff as well. I don't like just reading other people's quotes, but do check out the quotes this week from Kevin Feige and Victoria Alonso. They are very, very interesting and very smart people. Also, look at these lovelies in the chat. We've got Merimoth Haunts. That is a fun name to say. It's good to see you in here again. Coy, still bummed Batgirl and Static is going to streaming. It's really shitty. I'm a huge Static fan. I am a huge Batgirl fan. Both of those characters deserve the big screen. I am not thrilled myself, but I agree. Yeah, I agree. You sent me a Streamlabs, so I feel like I need to have more input, but you're not wrong, and it is stupid. Yes, I also have to sneeze. I've now done that. Yeah, so I personally think out of a lot of the DC Pantheon, those are two that deserve it the most. They are characters that are representing a very specific niche. They're characters that are representing a very specific group of people that aren't always on screen. And they're both hugely iconic, and they're not your Batman, Supermans, you know, the same ones we've seen 100 times. I totally agree with you. I have the sniffles because of that sneeze. Joel Rolston, do you think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 might address Drax's android origins from the comics? He may have an existential crisis, wondering if his memories are real. I don't think they'll go that way, because I don't think the MCU has made that character that way. He's humanoid. I don't think they'll do android stuff. I think with Vision and Ultron, we've dealt with that enough. There's going to be plenty of other android characters we can have existential crises with, but I don't think they'll go that way personally with the character. Ryan Cross, Coy, is that a hospital band? No, this is a Apple. I went to an Apple event, and I just haven't cut this off yet. Worry not. My tooth might be messed up, but my body is tolerating me. This is a Ted Lasso Season 2 premiere from 3 days ago. I have showered. I'm still wet from showering. I just haven't cut it off. Don't worry. I'm hygienic. I just haven't cut it off, but I will. I will. Thank you for worrying. That's very sweet. All right. We got Remy Bryant. Okay. Now, I believe Remy Bryant is Remy's art, because R-E-M-I is a very specific name, much like Coy. If you saw Coy pop up, you would assume it is one very specific thing. Well, I just got a text saying Remy Bryant sent money over for the Tooth Fund, and I just want to say via Venmo, thank you, thank you, thank you. Remy, that was incredibly kind. That is a chunk of money. Thank you. I'm so bad at words when it comes to money and gratefulness, except for it means the world, and holy shit does it suck to get a bill like that, but holy shit is it almost better to know how much people give a shit. Like, the pain is a lot, and the bill is a lot, but the love is more, so it's incredibly flattering to see this side of humanity directed at this shitty situation. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it, Remy. Holy fuck, I appreciate it. You guys. Laval M, Spidey Cat does whatever his Spidey Cat does. Spidey Cat is currently sleeping on his brand new cat tree. His Aunt Perry gave him a cat tree, and he is passed out on it as we speak. It is very hot in here, and he is passed out on his cat tree very, very happily. I'm going to get back to some news. We're going to wrap this episode up a little early today. Like I said, I've got my very first MLB game, so I'm going to get over to that. But quickly before I leave, quick bits of news. Jason Momoa is going to be blonde in Aquaman 2. I'm assuming beard and hair. We're going to get a more comic-accurate Aquaman 2. He did a video recently announcing he's heading over to film, and he's going to be going blonde, so it's very, very exciting. Remy's in the chat. Remy's art, I did guess correctly. Remy, thank you so fucking much. I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jason Momoa blonde is going to be a sight to see. I am very curious about that in general. I'm very fascinated by blonde Jason Momoa and a more comic-accurate look for Aquaman. It's definitely going to separate the difference in Aquaman 1 versus Aquaman 2. I'm very excited for more Aquaman. I thought the first movie was so much fun. We will see what goes on there. And we also officially, and this is more of an LA-based bit of excitement, but AMC is officially buying and running both the Grove and the Americana. Now, I go to the Grove for screenings all the time. I love the Grove. I used to live right next to the Americana. I used to go to the Americana multiple times a week. I am very excited for both these theaters not to die. I'm very worried about my ArcLight, but we will see what happens with ArcLight. I know the Dome is on land owned by one company and the ArcLight is on land owned by another company because everything's complicated. So I don't know if they can do that by the ArcLight. But I'm really hopeful because I live near the ArcLight. That is one of my go-to theaters. I really want that to be an option. It's tricky with the monopoly aspect of AMC. It's already the biggest chain in the world. If they add all of these independent theaters to their pantheon and no one else can afford to buy them, because I don't know if anybody else can afford to. Tarantino's already bought 2 and he's one man. You need someone with a lot of money to run a theater like ArcLight. We will see if that's possible, but the Grove and the Americana have been saved. I'm a very happy LA nerd. All right, in the chat, I see a lot of hashtag Medicare for All going around. Also, dental for all. Because Medicare doesn't always cover dental, so I would like to add, I think, quality of life and teeth. We need teeth to live, so I would like to argue that in order to live, we should have dental. I don't think we should have to pay $3,500 for our own teeth, and that's just one of the things. I still have 3 other cavities we've got to deal with later, but I'm going to pay this off first. I used that charcoal toothpaste for a really long time, not knowing it gets rid of your enamel. And I also didn't use fluoride in my mouthwash because I was dating a hippie, and fluoride, I fucked up my teeth out of bad information. I used charcoal and I didn't use fluoride, and here we are. Medicare for all should include your eyeballs, your teeth, your body. If it's on your body and it's natural and you need it, and if it means you survive. Anything that's like a part of you, right? Yeah, come on. If it's a part of you, it should be fucking part of you. Anyway, it's another conversation. We'll do a healthcare show another day. All right, last little bits of news. The Loki finale was this week. If you guys want my thoughts, the Loki finale, I did an entire breakdown on Instagram. Full hour of my breakdown of the very, very incredible episode. I won't even say what the episode's about in case you haven't seen it, but it was everything I hoped for. In fact, the arc conclusion is so genius. I'm gonna make a separate TikTok about it probably this week at some point. I love the way the arc landed with Loki, Lady Loki, and a certain new character that was just introduced in the finale. I'm very excited to jump into this. But I don't want to give it away here, so watch my coverage, and if you want to see an edited version with graphics, check out The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau. There's another YouTube, The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau, where I'm putting all of my edited stuff. So this is all my live stuff, this is all my free-flowing, live. All my edited stuff is going to be The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau, which is a page I'm growing that's going to be a separate thing entirely, but all my Loki coverage is over there. So if you want to see my Loki finale coverage, you want to know what I thought of the Loki finale, check out The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau. If you want the full, unfiltered, with all the chaos, plus all the live chat questions, check out my Instagram, IGTV for Loki dropped last Wednesday. Know that I loved it. Know that I'm a big fan of the character they brought in. Know that I'm a big fan of the actor they brought in to play that character. Know that I think what they did with that character is better than any of the Phase 1 stuff where they had Iron Man versus Ironmonger, Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket, that's Phase 2, but like they did a really good job making a character I wouldn't expect to be the antithesis of our lead. The antithesis of our lead in a really insightful, metaphorical, metaphysical, modernistic, existential way, and I was very impressed. So that is my spoiler-free review. Check out the spoiler-free review over there. But we did find out that this will be spoilers. If you haven't seen the finale, I've got a quote to read, and I'm gonna read it right now. So if you haven't seen it, get out of here, because I gotta read this quote because it's really cool. Kate Herron, who is my age, is the director of the entire Loki series. Once I can announce something really cool for next year, I'm really excited to tell you, but Kate Herron is a kid and she is a genius, and she had this to say about Loki and the character that I'm about to spoil, so if you haven't seen the finale, get out of here. Quote, I was so excited I got to be part of the conversation about the casting of his character with the studio and Peyton. It was a massive honor and very exciting. He's just an actor that we all love. His character's appeal is in the writing. In the scene that we want to know who's behind the Citadel and who could be there, I think the exciting thing was he tells this story about his past and who he is. For me, beyond that, then it's which actor are we going to bring in? Because it's got to be an actor with presence that immediately grabs you, because not every actor can do that. And Jonathan is one of the best actors out there. The fact that we got him to do this, I was just so happy, because I was like, we're going to be in a really safe hands now. He just commands attention. That, for me, is the real key thing for me, just getting the casting right. And I could not agree more. That role role was a monologue of Shakespearean proportions, and it landed on a 6-hour finale. Like, they built up to that moment. If it was disappointing, that would have crushed the show. Loki became my number 8 MCU property. It stuck the landing. It actually shifted a lot of other stuff down. It stuck the landing in a way I was so impressed by. That's the hardest thing about these properties, is sticking the landing, not having space holes and gray minions. They had a conversation. It's genius, and I love that Jonathan Majors was such a powerhouse as He Who Remains, and I'm very, very, very excited to see where he goes. I think he's going to be popping up Doctor Strange 2. We know he's popping up in Ant-Man Quantumania. We know a lot about where he's going to be, but I think he's obviously a Thanos-level threat. I think he might be in more than Thanos. I think this is all leading to Young Avengers, where he's the big bad, and we have Team Kang as well as Kang. Also, the fact that we get to see Jonathan Majors embodying so many different versions of himself. Very excited. Very excited. All right, that is going to be it for the news. I see Coy is 25 forever. I would love that. Please and thank you. Let's see. They say blondes have more fun. Is it humanly possible for him to have more fun? That is the question. Booyah! Is it possible for him to have more fun? Shouldn't have to pay for any of this healthy for your body anyways. I agree, Lewis. I agree, Coy. If you were here, I would pay for it, no problem. Thank you very much. Did Coy talk this fast as a kid? You're goddamn right. I wish I can send that because I watch it stay out of the tube. What? I wish I can send what because of the watch I stay off the tube. I'm not sure what that means, but I appreciate your generosity and concern. Faster as a kid. If I can't catch him live, I typically watch his YouTube at 1.75 because that's more my natural speed. I actually do taper my speed a bit because I want to make sure I'm understandable. That is how I roll. Coy's bound for the speed, force, and power to goddamn right. But yeah, I appreciate you guys very, very much. I am not actually 25. I'm a little older than 25, but I am 25 for life, which I appreciate very, very much. Also, officially, they're filming Clerks. I forgot that in the rundown. I wrote it down, and then I forgot to mention it. It got mixed up with Jackass and Winston Duke. Clerks 3 is all systems go. Clerks 3 is official. I've known about it, and I've had to keep my mouth shut for so long. I've actually had to schedule around Clerks 3. Not for me. I'm going to be in Mallrats 2. But for Kevin, he and I have had to work around his Clerks 3 schedule. It is all systems go. Lionsgate is doing international and domestic distribution. It is going to be glorious. What I know of the story is awesome. Randall is basically Kevin. Kevin is very nostalgic for his work and his life, and he's basically turning that into this amazing story where Randall is, a parallel to Kevin Smith. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but it's going to be really fun to see Randall embodying Kevin. He embodied him when he was a clerk, and Kevin was a clerk, and now he's going to embody him as a filmmaker in a really unique way. And I'm very excited for Clerks 3, and it is filming. Clerks 3. All right, live chat. Thank you for reminding me about Clerks 3. I put it in the title, then I almost forgot to mention it because I was just cruising through, but it's all systems go. Kevin is filming it, and Mallrats 2, but Clerks 3 I'm very excited to watch as a giant fan of Mr. Smith and the whole Viewist universe. Speaking of Schmo business, July 31st, I have 3 out of the 4 matches in Collision, aka Schmodown Coy-Lision. Kevin Smith is going up against the powerful Marisol. Team's championship match of my boy Shazam against Corruption, and the Star Wars championship of Andrew DiMolanta against the great and powerful Laura Kelly. All of that and the Inner Geekdom #1 contender match is all happening in a hurry on July 31st. But before that, Jesse Swift is going up against Whit Nabin on the 23rd. Lots of Koi Schmodown stuff coming at you at the end of the month. And curls-wise, I have gotten back to the gym. I told you guys we're going to take a little time off and recover. I'm back. I got 2 great workouts in the last 2 days. Today, I was going to go for a run, but unfortunately, I have an MLB game, so I'm not going to make it for my run. But tomorrow, I'm getting the other half of my root canal done. If I'm not in pain, I'm going to be in pain. But if I'm somehow not, I'm going to get a run in. But I'm probably going to be in pain because it's the second half for a root canal. So I'm obviously pacing myself with this tooth. I got the root canal done on Thursday. Took Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Got a workout in. Took Friday, Saturday off. Got a workout in Sunday, Monday. Did not get a workout in today. So I'm really trying to pace myself and letting my body heal, but I am still getting the workouts in. I am still getting them curls done. I am still going to keep you guys posted. I think my August is going to be augmented vegan August. I'm not a vegan. I love meat, but I know you can lose some weight by going vegan. So between me not liking milk, I love milk, my skin doesn't, and trying to lose some calories with the density of food, I might try to go augmented vegan, which is going to be like meat once a week or twice a week, but overall vegan for the month of August. We will see how that goes, and root canals suck. And that is going to do it for today's show. Thank you all so very much I appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you. Joel Rolston closing us out, asking about Loki and you know who. I thought Gene Wilder's Wonka and the Walking Cane gag. I 100% think that was purposeful. I definitely think that playful smiliness was very intentionally that Willy Wonka flavor. It definitely felt like a classic comic book villain. It definitely felt like that Gene Wilder Wonka chaos energy, and I really, really enjoyed it. I totally agree with you, Joel. And Curtis Mason asking, I'm so stoked for Clerks 3, but what does that mean for Twilight of the Mallrats? Do you have any insider info that you can share? It's next. Don't worry. It's next. It's coming. So, I can't say anything else, but I know it's coming. I promise. I promise. All right, you lovelies, that is going to do it. Thank you to Joel Rolston, to Curtis Mason, to Lavelle M, to Joel Rolston again, talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with Drax's Android talks we had. Merrimouth Haunts, thank you very much. Jason Ritchie with the big old super chat. I appreciate the hell out of that. I very much appreciate it. And to Remy's art with the giant Venmo, thank you all very much. That is 100% going to my teeth. I really could not put into words how much that means to me, and I am very, very excited. I'm trying to get, I see you want me in Clerks 3. I'm working on the next one. But I appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you for helping. Thank you for easing the financial pain, because you guys cannot ease the physical pain because I've got to get it done. So you're easing the pain that is easable, so I appreciate the hell out of it. Thank you. And tomorrow a Coy-Cast does drop. I see you, Ryan Cross Project. I appreciate your zealous nature with it. And we got another Streamlab as we wrap out. Hashtag Tooth from Scott Welsh. Scott, always a pleasure, always very appreciated. Thank you. That is, it's gonna keep this tooth in my face. It's gonna keep that one right there. That's you guys. This tooth is dedicated to Koi Pond, because you guys, the Koi Pond's keeping this tooth in my face. Thank you so fucking much. I will be back next week with a probably at 5:30 show, but before that, tomorrow, Coy-Cast. Thursday, I'm going to be doing a review of My Hero Academia Part 2. So we're going to be doing episodes 9 through 17, I think it is. I'm doing 8 episodes of My Hero Academia. Next week, I'm going to be doing a Fast 5 watch-along. There's going to be a Fast 5 watch-along next week with a different format. We're going to be doing a Fast 5 watch-along likely next Thursday. And then next Friday, I'm going to be starting the Ted Lasso review. So we've got lots of content coming at you. We got Ted Lasso review, we got My Hero Academia Season 3 Part 2 review, we got a Fast 5 watch-along, we've got Coy-Cast dropping every single week, and we've got all sorts of schmo-down goodness. I am not sleeping enough, but I'm sleeping enough for you, because I'm staying alive. And Michael McCarcel is we're gonna have fun at that Fast 5, man. I'm gonna make Thursday work. I think I figured out some stuff. But we'll talk. All right, you lovelies. I'm gonna go to my first ever MLB game. I'm gonna go to a Dodgers game, repping my socks, and I hope I don't overheat. And I love you all very much. Thank you for any and all help, and in just general for watching and listening and being a voice for all this stuff. You guys giving a shit makes me believe in humanity more. So I appreciate you. Much love, guys. I'm out of here. Bye.